Hello and welcome to, of course, another installment of the News Roundup, and we've got two pretty important bits of news to cover today. Of course, earlier on, talking about the SSC Tuatara becoming officially the fastest car in the world. Now we have some pretty huge electric car news as well, something which we knew was coming, but not necessarily exactly when or how extreme it would be, and that is the Tesla Plaid editions. Now, a lot of news outlets are focusing on the fact that the Plaid is extreme. What I want to actually inform you about that you might have missed, because for some reason most journalists and sites aren't really highlighting this as much as they should be, the Plaid is not the quickest one. They're doing a Plaid Plus as well, which has even more power, even more range, and even quicker 0 to 60 time. Now, for those who don't know, the Tesla Plaid project almost got started when they first began their battle against the Porsche Taycan at the Nürburgring. We saw a very heavily modified, almost test mule-looking Tesla with a, I believe, wide-arch body kit, if I recall correctly, to give it even more stability through corners. And it was extremely quick, but it was by no means a production car. Now we have the actual production versions, and it's not just the Model S. They are actually bringing it for pretty obvious reasons, why wouldn't you, since the electric drivetrain is pretty similar on both anyway, to their SUV, the Model X as well. That means that the Tesla Model X is the fastest SUV in the world for acceleration. And the Tesla Model S is not only the fastest sedan for acceleration, but it is officially the fastest accelerating production car ever. From 0 to 60, beating everything from Koenigsegg, Hennessy, SSC, Bugatti, across the board. The top speed is vastly improved, up around 200 miles an hour in fact, which is very rare for an electric car. But the key thing is that 0 to 60. It's rated, and of course we'll see multiple outlets testing this, at 1.9 seconds from 0 to 60 on the Model S, and 2.5 seconds on the SUV. Which is insane. I mean, compare that to a little under 20 years ago when the Veyron could do 0 to 60 in 2.5. It shows the acceleration of change in technology. It's pretty crazy that a 7-seater SUV with gull-wing doors can now accelerate as quickly as a Veyron could. Now, of course, we will need to see these things tested, but the crucial thing is that Plaid Plus. Now, once again, for those who are curious what this Plaid name is all about, it's actually another Spaceballs reference, because of course the ludicrous speed mode is directly referencing Spaceballs, which is a kind of Hot Shots era spoof of Star Wars. And they say to go to ludicrous speed, and it's a joke in the movie, a very famous joke. But then the Plaid line is just a little bit less known than the ludicrous speed line, but it's basically another reference to the same thing, going crazy fast. And if you've watched the movie, you'll know that. So that's what the Plaid means with these two cars, but the Plaid Plus has even more power. As I said, the normal Plaid editions have 1,006 brake horsepower, which isn't exactly lacking. The Plaid Plus has 1,100, and the range, as tested by the EPA, is 520 miles. Now, of course, a lot of people already don't like Tesla, so they probably won't care about this news either way, but the unarguable fact, much like with the SSC Tuatara, is that these are the fastest now. These are the benchmarks to beat, and due to how crazy electric technology can be, especially with instant torque and all-wheel drive and the kind of acceleration that they can achieve, it's highly unlikely that anything but another electric car is going to beat these. Certainly on the SUV side of things, that's for sure. In a production sense, I don't see anyone building a petrol or diesel SUV that can outrun 2.5 seconds to 60. In terms of an overall car, of course something could beat the Tesla Plaid, but I don't see that happening from a non-electric car anytime soon either, because most hypercars now tend to be aiming on top-end speed rather than acceleration, such as Hennessy, Koenigsegg, Bugatti, etc. Overall, though, it's a pretty cool day for high-performance vehicles with the new top speed record and seemingly multiple new acceleration records as well. I, for one, am pretty happy to see it. In fact, the only things that I don't like about these Plaid editions so much is I think the looks are a little bit too understated. One of the things that I'm not a huge fan of with Tesla is I kind of get bored of the designs fairly quickly because they're so simple looking, which is why I love the look of something like a Jaguar I-Pace or a Rimac, because they just look cool, or a Mercedes SLS electric drive. But also, the steering wheel has a very interesting design. as you'll have seen from some of the images in this video, and it's a little bit controversial. I think it looks cool, but actually using a steering wheel like that in real life is very impractical. Trust me, I've driven enough cars with weird shaped steering wheels to know that that is going to be a bit of a pain in the backside if you're doing like a 7-point turn in a tight road. But it looks cool, and that's the point. So to me, the bigger issue is I'm not a huge fan of the way they look from the outside. They're way too understated. The whole point of the car is to be crazy, so you may as well have embraced that somehow, maybe even with a wider arch kit, just to make it look that bit more crazy, almost like a Mercedes Black Edition, equivalent on a Tesla. Overall though, very cool news, and of course, if you're new to the channel, be sure to check out the previous news roundups that I've done, because you may have missed quite a lot of that information, and of course, stick around for more in the future. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.